Welcome to our prop firm farming explanation and breakdown of the system, pretty much. So, just to kick it off, so this is a particular method we use to farm payouts to increase ROI on our money going in versus money going out over a set period of time. And yeah, it's built using most of the time our flight wheel. Algo and also built using our Sentinel engine. So just to give you a bit of a breakdown, so the Sentinel engine is our hub. It is the main basis of every single portfolio. And when I say portfolio, it's algorithms, it's EAs, it's bots. They're all, a portfolio is a selection of all of those trading multiple assets. And the Sentinel engine is the hub of all that. It's what it's created on. It's the workflows. It's the software. It's the engine that's behind everything, behind the flywheel. It's behind our supercharger V2, our turbo V3 system. They all come from the Sentinel engine. And to give you a little bit, let me just skip forward a little bit. So prop firm farming using this method is very well known. It's pretty easy to understand when it's down on paper. And it's a very good way to increase ROI on the back end in terms of money going in and money going out. So a high level overview, we're going to have inputs. That's going to be challenge purchases over a span of typically 90-ish days. We like to do it per quarter, so 4 times a year. And typically you can see 3,000 going in, $43,000 coming out, and the ROI around 1,500% return. Better than any pretty much brokerage account you can link up and get. So, and obviously it scales. So you could do 30,000 in and then obviously 400-ish out. This varies a little bit sometimes depending on market conditions. When we see really nice trending markets, particularly on our flywheel system that's based on NASDAQ and gold, that can really get up to 60,000. So in terms of ROI, it's like 20 times. It's pretty cool. It's pretty good. And it's a very, very, I'd say clever way to farm payouts and really increase ROI and get good revenue with little or nothing going in. So there's the main route that we're going to start with. Everything starts with a master account. Now, we use a real brokerage account, as you can see from our FX Blue. I'll just pull it here. This is the one that's been running this quarter's prop firm farming system. As you can see here, it's a real account. We use a real 200K because we like to get the extra profit on top of that. Obviously, you don't need to use a real brokerage account. You can use a demo one if you're not really that bothered about getting the sort of bonus percentage or bonus monetary gain from just having your account there as the master. We like to have it like that. You don't have to. Like I said, this can be a real or a demo. It can just be a 200K demo. Try and get a demo account with a decent broker that you use with good leverage. And it's a demo that's unlimited time, or at least over 90 days, because some of them end after 30 days. So if it's a demo, make sure it's an unlimited time or an extended time. If it's real, then this just applies for you, just like ours. So 100 to 200K brokerage account. As you can see here, this is the weekly return. If I pull up the FX Blue, you can see here the weekly return. I've just pulled that and added onto the document here for ease and visualization. So yeah, we have a quarter here, or nearly just a quarter, just under, sorry. It's still in it now, and this last block is still pending. So as you can see here, we break it down into 2-week blocks. We've done this because these 3 firms we're using, which I'll go on to in a minute, is bi-weekly payouts. Obviously, if you're using weekly payouts, then you can do it per week. If it's monthly, you can do it per month. We've found over time that bi-weekly is pretty the best way to go. Realistically, a week's not really long enough. 2 weeks is pretty good. None of them are really 3 weeks, and then the rest of them are 4 weeks. So yeah, typically this is how it breaks down. So in a quarter, you're gonna have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5-ish blocks, yeah, or typically 6. But this is just where we are now. So as you can see here, block 1. It ended around 9.4%. You can see here plus 5.8, plus 3.6. It's 9.4%. On a 200K, it's 18,800 per account. And then moving on, block 2 was a down week, so we're in minus 1% drawdown. And then we clawed back out of drawdown and got a little bit of a payout, and then we're in drawdown now, and we're still in drawdown by minus 3.6% in drawdown. And we're climbing out of that nicely, so we'll see how it settles. But but yeah, that's the particular, just the master account on how, high level, how it works. So on the master here, this is where we run one of our systems. Typically, it tends to be the Flower system. You can run various different systems. If you are building your own from our Sentinel engine, you've learned how to do that. That's fine. You can build your own and attach that to the master account. And then from there, on that master account, you have the slave layers. Yeah. So these are the accounts that your prop firm accounts pretty much. We chose SLF, Blue Guardian, and Aqua. Equals around 600k in funding. We did it set up like this because it's realistic and, I'd say achievable for most people to go for. We go out there and get 6 million funding and scale it that way. But this is realistic and it's repeatable for most people. It doesn't take too much time when you've got the master, you've got everything nailed. You've got for example, if you're using our Turbo V3 solution to pass the actual challenge, then typically it can take 3 to 4 weeks. So recap: master, then the slave layers. Obviously, these slave layers need to be funded accounts. So there is I've just added this in here. There's an additional step that happens before any of this is implemented. It's passing these challenges pretty much. And that can be done. You can use the flywheel, but also it's mainly done with a sort of a turbo solution we offer to then pass the portfolio, pass the prop firm, and then you can use that on this slave layer. Obviously, the challenge is there's no point in the challenge being on the slave layer. So yeah, I've kind of bypassed that, but I've added it in here. So you can see here, like the cost typically for these is going to be about $3,000-ish. And then time to get funded typically is going to be 3 to 4 weeks. You can speed it up, but we found if you speed it up too much and increase the risk, the chance of you failing is going to go up, and then the cost, the initial front end input goes up. As you can see here, like if this even if this doubled, for example, you had a 50% pass rate, even if this doubled, you're still getting, it's probably like 11 times ROI. It's still very, very good. But yeah, so slave layers, funded accounts, and then you have sort of filters on each prop firm. So when obviously the master account takes the trades, like it does here, and then copies it to the funded accounts, it essentially just copies it like for like onto and distributes it to each of the accounts. Yeah. And then when we're finished with block 2, that's when we request the payout. So it goes through a few filters. Obviously, the frequency is just weekly. We've defined that by the blocks. But the profit split will be varying depending on the company. I slipped up a little bit. SLF was only 50% on the first initial one, is what it is. You could use prop firm match to search for 10 different firms if you wanted to, and use 10. I'll probably use 3 different firms for the next time round just to see. I like to cycle it with different firms, new firms as well, see how they are, and just see how they are in terms of payouts and stuff like that, which is pretty good. So yeah, SLF was 50%, Blue Guardian was 90, and Aqua was 90. So block 1, as you can see here, we was plus 9.4%, yeah. But then we've obviously got to go through our profit split filter. So it was 9.4%, but after the profit split, the SLF was looking at 8K and then 16.9 and then 16.9 on the Aqua, and then 16.901 on the Blue Guardian, just on block 1. So that was even, you could just run it for block 1 in this scenario and you'd make a lot of money. Or you get really good ROI for what you've put in pretty much. So that's super, super profitable even after block 1. Obviously, you can see the difference here in just like that's 16,920 it should be, but you can see like here difference in like spreads, a little bit of slippage, and also just different firms pretty much. So yeah, just a slight difference there, but nothing crazy. And then moving on, so that's block 1, and if we refer to this back up here, block 1 here, then block 2 obviously it's traded into drawdown. So block 2 there was no payouts. Block 3 small payouts. It was we traded into drawdown, we clawed out a little bit and then finished around 0.3% profit, so it was around $600. And then after split, that typically, actually that's wrong, that's 360, and I'm just waiting on still need the payout certificate from SLF for that. Obviously 540 because it's 90% of on these ones here. And you can see here 540, just waiting on the SLF one. But yeah, not too bad. I guess a lot of the front end profit was made here, but like here it's almost you're getting almost 50% of your investment straight away just from this block 3. So yeah, small profit, and then coming into block 4, trading into drawdown a little bit, and we're sitting in drawdown. We're clawing it back a little bit. So no payouts on block 4, and then block 5 is obviously pending. So yeah, that's typically how prop firm farming method works. As a high level recap, we have a master account with one of our portfolios, one of our algos, or it might be an algo you've designed, or wanting design using our central engine and help from us, which is fine. You then copy that to slave accounts. You, before obviously getting to this point, you need to make sure that you obviously got funded accounts that have passed the challenge. Understand the profit splits. Don't make the same mistake I did. Obviously understand the payout frequency to really map out your blocks, payout blocks. And then from there, it's simple, wait for it to trade, end of block, take the payout, reset, go again, take the payout or not take the payout if it was drawdown week. But yeah, I hope that gives you a good overview. Any questions, don't hesitate to reach out to us, reach out to your advisor. Yeah, cheers guys.